Live video number 2. Welcome to Train Case 101, Rachel Barlow. Now we are going to talk about the finished train case like this. This is Samsonite version. Gorgeous. You can't see any external rivets, but it definitely has them. I guess they're not external. I guess they're internal, but this one happens to feature a tray, and this tray will not fit into the smaller version, but the smaller version, oh wait, this is the smaller version. Never mind. This tray will fit into the bigger version if you need to switch out trays. And sometimes you get lucky and they come with keys. So some of the awesome features about this beautiful train case is that it has a mirror. This flap, which can come off, I'm not going to take it off. Sorry, it's a little tricky, but you can see it lifts up and pops out. So keep that in mind when you're designing this particular one, whether or not you want to keep the hinge cover or not. It's up to you. It's really just there to cover up the hinge. It doesn't really serve any other purpose. It's not necessary, but it does give you this great opportunity to showcase something really fun, as we've done here. And as you can see, be mindful of your pocket placement so that it will hold your hinge cover down. So that is if you have this style of train case, make sure that when you are putting your pocket in, it's wide enough to hold the bottom of your hinge cover. So on this train case, actually I'm going to show you on the other one. So this is the inside of this one. I did double pockets on this side, as you can see here, 2 little pockets for pencils or anything, scissors, little things like that. And those are the features of this train case. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll try to answer them while we are talking about them. If I'm going too fast for you, we're just kind of going over the finished ones first, and then we're going to get into the different levels of ones that I'm working on right now. Okay, this is a little bit easier. I try not to show everything going on in my room because I do have a round robin quilt hanging back there, and I don't want anybody to see it that's not supposed to see it yet. So this one, the mirror is already taken out. So that's the first thing. There was a mirror in here, and I had a hinge cover on here, but I made a mistake. And this is a flawed case. So if you're looking at this thinking, oh girl, your stitches are messed up. Yes, they are. This held the flap down, or it didn't hold the flap down. So when I installed it, I didn't think about that. And then the flap stuck straight out, and it didn't work out very well. So when I got it, I was like, you know what? Let me take this mirror off. It had the mirror on at the time. And then I'm going to put my 16th century selfie in the lid like I do most of my cases. So if you have one with a mirror, you can take that mirror and that plastic piece out. My advice to you would be tape your mirror up as best as you can, because when you break it, it's going to break up into like 1,000 pieces. It's not going to be a really clean process. So just be mindful of that if you do decide to take your mirror out. I personally love the mirror in them, in this particular style of case, because it's encased, it's nice, it's clean around the edges. It doesn't flop over like the ones that are held in with elastic. So just, decide what's best for you. Don't be afraid to try something new. I'm not the expert by any means. I just decided one day to try this on my own, which I will show you in a minute. I hope it's clean on the inside because I didn't even check. But anyway, so as you can see here, these are the 2 screws that are for the handle on the lid. If you need to do some cleaning, that's a great time to take it off, clean your lid piece so you can get all of that, shine up or polish your stuff while you have the handle off. That's a great time to do that. Don't be afraid of what this is going to look like when you cover them up. Either whether we go back to using poster board or we continue using Peltex, I'm hoping that we can solve some of those issues, but it will still cover these up. They're not going to be like 2 circles right there where it's really noticeable. If you look in train cases that are already finished, you'll see bumps, and they're not smooth, flat, perfect. You know, don't hold yourself to a level of perfectionism that manufacturers don't even hold their items to that same level. Do what is best for you, what you feel most comfortable with. If it's going to bother you, then figure out a way, you know, maybe notch out. If you do use Peltex, you could notch out a little bit so it sits a little bit more flush. That's an option for you. So going over this, how this insert works. So this insert is built completely separately from the train case. So when you get one like this, my recommendation is to take out your insert. I'm not going to do that in this video because this one's already built, but on this particular one, I don't take my rivets completely out. I left this bracket here because I have a tray that I wanted to leave inside it. So what I did here was pulled every bit of this whole thing out very carefully so that I could still use it to trace. And I notched down. So when I made my pattern, instead of going straight across, because you have to remember, they put this in last, I notched it down, over, and up. As you can see here, there is a little bit of a bunching that occurred because it wouldn't go all the way up. And I eliminated that on my other case because I came down. This was the first one where I kept the tray in, but I came down and flat across. So to make sure that the fabric isn't trying to go all the way up where those rivets are holding the tray in. If you don't have a tray or you're not keeping your tray in, have no fear. You can simply take it and with a set of pliers, try to pry that bar out. So this bar here will come out. You just have to kind of work it back and forth with a set of pliers and it'll pop the end of this rivet off and you can slide it right out. Once I did that, I went back and I took my flush cutters and I trimmed off any metal burrs or anything like that. If you have a file, you can file it down as well, making sure that once you're done to go back over and clean everything out. So then that is the 2 hard style Samsonite with the drop-in liners that I'm going over now. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to pause and I'll be back in a few minutes. Video 2.